for by the New World Order.
Oh, you didn't know?
You ready? Let's go!
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Feed me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Big Daddy Cool, Vinny Apicella, and you're listening to the most electrifying show in sports radio today, the Sportswire. That's right, we are here live. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast, at least, here on Fat Cat Radio, powered through Spreaker. Let's give our first fruits to God. Let's go to God in prayer. Father God, I want to thank you for allowing me to wake up this morning. I want to thank you for just all the blessings that you give me on a daily basis. You know, it's not always financial blessings, Lord, but it's blessings of family and friends, and, you know, being able to have the capacity to love beyond people's pasts, the capacity to love beyond issues, beyond problems, Father. I pray for the world. I pray for, the entire world, Lord. We need prayers. We need help. We need your help. We need you to intervene. We need you to help the world deal with the hatred in this world, Father. There's so much hatred when it comes to, racism and prejudices and stupidity, quite honestly. And I pray that you allow us to as Christians, to shine your light through us so that the world can see who we are and can see you and can change their ways, Father. I love you. I thank you for just having this vehicle to reach the people out there and reach all my listeners. I thank you for everything you do, Father, on a daily basis. I just pray that you help me to deal with my personal struggles of car and life in general, Father. I've seen my insecurities, I've seen my flaws, I've seen what I deal with on a daily basis, Father, and I don't like it, but I need your help to change it. I can't do it alone. I pray for my job, I pray for the decisions that I make, Father, and I thank you, and I definitely want to pray for this podcast and this radio station that we're able to get successful and, start building a real big fan base. Thank you for everything you do, and I ask all this through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, so now that we've given our first fruits to God, let's go to our worship song of the day, and that is, it's actually going to be KJ52, Life of a Christian. It's a little bit of a edgier Christian song, but I think you'll like it. Here we go.
Living the life of a Christian isn't no easy thing. A personal relationship one-on-one with the King of Kings. Day by day, constant struggling. Satan really loves it when he brings temptation, try to take me in to the pit of hell. God, hear me now. The devil wants me dead. I must quit the town. So listen to this lyrical recitation. Little something for the people of the Christian nation. I know sometimes it gets hard when you're working on your job. People dissing because of God. Pressures of the world trying to get you down. While everybody's having fun. You're serving the sun. They're going out partying, drinking, blazing, talking, joking, life wasting. Not really coming when it's them they're pleasing. Reality check. It only lasts for a season. The truth, meaning that I bring to thee. That true happiness is found in Christianity. So if you feel like you're down and feel like you're missing, just keep on living this life of a Christian. It ain't no simple thing to try to live your life holy. I slip and fall, doing wrong almost every day. But step for Christ, I gotta keep on living. It ain't no easy thing, life of a Christian. It ain't no simple thing to try to live your life holy. I slip and fall, doing wrong almost every day. But step for Christ, I gotta keep on living. It ain't no easy thing, life of a Christian. Christian.
All around the world, the same song. People condemn what is right and glorify what's wrong. And it's so appealing to the flesh when they talk about cars, money, power, illicit sex. On TVs, videos, radios, magazines, movies, y'all know what I mean. In this world, a wicked sin, we struggle but we press on cause we're God's children. And to keep a pure mentality, it's difficult, that's no fallacy. Reality, I can't even drive down the 605 without seeing billboards for new girls live. Sometimes this world seems so appealing, but you gotta remember what you're dealing. The wages of sin is death, and so many temptations put us to the test. What'll make you keep slipping and falling? Just never stop. If you can't walk, at least be crawling. All this world's glitter ain't gold. Don't be sidetracked, gotta say so, be bold. It may seem like there's no reward, but your treasure's in heaven, so be pleasing to the Lord. It's hard, but your exampleship means a lot. The world's watching you, kid, give it all you got.
It ain't no simple thing to try to live your life holy. I slip and fall, doing wrong almost every day. But step in Christ, I gotta keep on living. It ain't no easy thing like I'm a Christian. It ain't no simple thing to try to live your life holy. I slip and fall, doing wrong almost every day. But step in Christ, I gotta keep on living. It ain't no easy thing like I'm a Christian.
It ain't no easy thing to live my life for the King. Sometimes it's hard for me to be the way God wants me to be. All that I know is I have to obey God, so people listen. Keep moving on to the end, don't ever stop living this life of a Christian. It ain't no easy thing to live my life for the King. Sometimes it's hard for me to be the way God wants me to be. All that I know is I have to obey God, so people listen. Keep moving on to the end, don't ever stop living this life of a Christian. It ain't no easy thing to live my life for the King. Sometimes it's hard for me to be the way God wants me to be. All that I know is I have to obey God, so people listen. Keep moving on to the end, don't ever stop living this life of a Christian. It ain't no easy thing to live my life for the King. Sometimes it's hard for me to be the way God wants me to be. All that I know is I have to obey God, so people listen. Keep moving on to the end, don't ever stop living this life of a Christian.
All right, that was KJ52 with Life of a Christian right here on the Sportswire. Like I said, it was a little bit of edgier, it's a Christian hip-hop song. Today's going to be another day we're going to play a lot of good Christmas songs. It's the holiday season. I will let you know that I think I've set this precedent already, but I am not politically correct. I do say Merry Christmas because that's what I celebrate. I'm a Christian. I celebrate Christians. It's Christmas. So that's why I, say Merry Christmas, and that's all, that's all there is to it. It's not that I'm dissing other religions. I follow Christianity. I do, I say Merry Christmas because that's quite honestly the way it is for me. All right, so we've got quite a bit of stuff going on today. We've got quite a bit to talk about. We've got NFL Week 13 that's just about in the books. Actually, tonight is Monday Night Football. It is the Cowboys and the Redskins, two of the worst teams in the league on a Monday night, even though it's a big rivalry. The NFC East, however, obviously being the worst team in the league, the worst conference in the NFL, everybody is still technically in it. The Giants got beat yesterday. The Eagles pulled out an upset victory over the Patriots, but and you still got the Cowboys and the Redskins to go tonight, so that'll quite honestly seal the fate for the Cowboys if they lose, in my opinion. But we've got to talk about WWE TLC this coming Sunday. Tables, ladders, and chairs, shaping up to be a great event. I guess the WWE is going through some changes, kind of like, remember when back in the late 90s when the WWE changed and kind of turned the corner from, the Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart era into the Attitude Era. They're going to go through something similar because I think the PG era is just not working anymore. They kind of have this formula, and the formula is broken. The whole Roman Reigns angle storyline right now is just very similar to Daniel Bryan a couple years ago, where, he won the title, got screwed by Triple H, and that whole thing. The Money in the Bank winner, although last time it was Randy Orton, this time it was Sheamus. So it's like they're going through the recycling of storylines. So they need to push the creative envelope again, so to speak. Apparently there's a change going on, and I'll talk more about that in this hour. But before I get to any kind of sports news, there's something I need to talk about. I have a lot of friends in my life, and a lot of them deal, there's one thing that I personally don't understand. And what I don't understand is the term clinically depressed. Okay, I know it's a mental, it's an emotional disability, a mental disability. It's a problem with the chemicals in your brain. I understand all that. And, it's one of those things where I never went to school for psychology or psychiatry or any of that. But, and I've never been diagnosed with it. Quite honestly, I wouldn't believe somebody if they told me that I was clinically depressed, because you know what? Everybody in this world has the ability and the right to be upset in life. God created us perfect in His image, correct? All right, it's stated in the Bible that God created us all as humans in His image. Now, granted, we are flawed. He gave us free choice and the freedom of, because He didn't want to say, you have to follow me. He wants us to follow Him. But getting back to what I was saying is, in my opinion, now I've dealt with girlfriends in the past who are bipolar. Matter of fact, I would have to say the majority of the girlfriends that I've had in the past were bipolar. And I don't necessarily agree with the idea of putting somebody on medication to control their moods. Everybody has... Now, I personally feel that God gave us doctors and stuff to help us live longer and diagnose troubles and all that. And I understand that. And even when it comes to mental health, I understand God gave us people to talk to that are professionals to study this out. I don't necessarily agree with chemicals being used to help. Now, obviously when it comes to pain, yes, you need something to kill the pain. Physical pain, I mean. Emotional pain, you need to be able to talk. And that's my opinion. It's completely my opinion. I'm not a doctor, and I will never claim to be a doctor. All I know is what's helped me through this life, because I've gone through a lot of crap. And, I've shared the majority of stuff on this podcast. Going through a criminal case for 2 years while going through a custody case at the same time. Okay? Going through being molested by my pediatrician, being a registered sex offender, having that stigma attached to me. It's all, taxing. It really is. It's trying, it's taxing, it's a burden. I mean, before I found Christ, and before I made that decision to follow Christ and make Jesus the Savior of my life, I was just dealing with it. I never turned to drugs. I never turned to alcohol. I never turned to anything else. Okay? There are two things that I really find addicting, and that's food and sex. And those are my two addictions, so to speak. Not that they're necessarily illegal, but, those are my two flaws. Those are my two vices. And, living my life as a Christian is very, difficult when it comes to self-control. But, here's the deal, is that if you put your faith in God instead of in man, instead of in yourself, one thing that I always did was I prided myself, and for the most part I still do, even though, I got to put my faith in God. But for the most part, I always prided myself on being strong because that was who I am. It was me doing everything. But one thing I've learned throughout all this process is that I can't turn my back on God. This past summer I had a relationship, and it was well, trust me, it was well documented, with Desiree, and I loved her. And you know what? And if I'm honest, I still do. Okay, and that's why I haven't been in a relationship since. Okay, because my heart still belongs to her. You know, when you fall in love with somebody, it takes a long time to get over it. There's so many people that jump from, you know, boyfriend to boyfriend to girlfriend to, you know, from one person to date to another person to date to another person to date within weeks, within months. Okay, I've never been the person to do that. And, you know, even 5 months after our breakup, which was a very public breakup, thanks to Facebook, my heart still belongs to her. Now, will her heart ever belong to me again? Who knows? You know, God can only tell. You know, God only knows. You know, but the thing is I can't dwell on that. You can't dwell on that. You know, take your time, hang out with people, hang out with friends, hang out with people that support you, and let them know that, you know, you're hurting. Be vulnerable, be open. I think that's one of the biggest things about being a Christian is be open. Don't hold in your feelings, don't hold in your desires. You know, one thing that really hurt me this past summer was my ability not to be open and, you know, wanting to do things on my own and, you know, and not opening up, whether it was to Desiree or to others, about my insecurities. You know, we're all human. We all go through things in life. We all have insecurities. And for you to say that you don't have any insecurities, you're lying, quite honestly. Because there's always going to be that one problem that you deal with, you know, whether it's not having a fear of commitment, okay? Whether it's a fear of comparing yourself to others. And I go through that a lot, you know? So everybody has insecurities, and if you can't be open, especially with the woman or the person you're dating, and then it leads to a screw up, you know, and that's why it's like some of the things that I've been facing over these past 5 months are my insecurities and my flaws. And no matter how much they may hurt, and how much you may say, oh, you know what, I could do it differently. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. You screw up, and that's all there is to it. You know, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You know, but that's you know, so when I feel overwhelmed, I remember the scripture of Christ telling us, you know, place all your burdens on me and take on my yoke, for it's light. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the exact, you know, scripture and the exact saying, but it's true. Christ, you know, and it's very difficult to understand and very difficult to do as a human. But put all your anxieties on Him, on Christ, on the man that loves us, our Father in heaven that loves us. Put all of our anxieties and insecurities and flaws up on the cross, and look to God for faith. And God puts people in your life to help you out. He's done that with me, giving me a whole support system that I don't always look at because, I can do this on my own. I can't. I never have been. I never will be. I won't be able to do this on my own. So it's like, when it comes to people saying that they're clinically depressed, talk about it. Get open. If you're feeling off, if you're feeling upset about nothing, you don't know what you're feeling upset about, talk about it. Open up. First, you know, make sure it's someone you trust, you know, whether it's a family member that you trust or a best friend or an elder in the church, or even if you just make that initial consultation with a social worker, therapist, talk about it. Open up your minds, open up your heart, because that's the only way you can get help, is by being open and being vulnerable. So that's what that is. All right, so we're gonna get on to our next song. Like I said, it's gonna be holiday episodes for all this month of December. Right now, we're going to actually get to a Hanukkah song. I'm not Jewish. I don't celebrate Hanukkah. So, but we're going to get to Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song number 1 right here on the Sportswire.
Okay. This is a song that there's a lot of Christmas songs out there, and not too many Hanukkah songs. So wrote a song for all those nice little Jewish kids who don't get to hear any Hanukkah songs. Here we go. Put on your yarmulke, here comes Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights. When you feel like the only kid in town without a Christmas tree, here's a list of people who are Jewish, just like you and me. David Lee Roth lights the menorah. So do James Conn, Kirk Douglas, and the late Dinah Shora. Guess who eats together at the Carnegie Deli? Bowser from Sha-Na-Na and Arthur Fonzarelli. Paul Newman's half Jewish, Goldie Hawn's half too. Put them together, what a fine-looking Jew. You don't need Deck the Halls or Jingle Bell Rock, 'cause you can spin a dreidel with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, both Jewish. Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah. The owner of the Seattle Supersonicas celebrates Hanukkah. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted. We got Ann Landers and her sister, dear Abby. Harrison Ford's a quarter Jewish, not too shabby. Some people think that Ebenezer Scrooge is. Well, he's not, but guess who is? All 3 Stooges. So many Jews are in showbiz. Tom Cruise isn't, but I heard his agent is. Tell your friend Veronica, it's time to celebrate Hanukkah. I hope I get a harmonica on this lovely, lovely Hanukkah. So drink your gin and tonica and smoke your marijuana. If you really, really wanna go, have a happy, 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 happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
All right, and that was Adam Sandler with Hanukkah song number 1 here on the Sportswire. And I will say this first of all, that obviously we don't have the the rights to make money off those songs, so that's why we're playing them and not making money off of them. There we go. All right, I going on to NFL week number 13. Shapes up. It was a fantastic week of football. Like I said, tonight Dallas goes into D.C. to take on the Redskins, 8:30 p.m. on ESPN, Monday Night Football. Tony Romo's out for the year. So I have a feeling if Washington could pull out the win, Dallas is done for the year. They're at 3-8 currently. I'll go over the standings in just a little bit. Okay. So, first game off the top, because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, that game comes up first. Pittsburgh Steelers rocked the Indianapolis Colts 45-10. Roethlisberger had a 4-touchdown game and was absolutely fantastic in the game. I was very happy that I had him start. I'll go over that in a little while as well. Obviously, the Thursday night game, the Packers defeated the Lions 27-23. The Battle of New Jersey saw the New Jersey Jets defeat the New Jersey Giants 23-20. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Houston Texans 30-21. The Miami Dolphins put out a squeaker of an upset over the Baltimore Ravens 15-13. The Cincinnati Bengals destroyed the Cleveland Browns 37-3. More on that in a little bit. The Tennessee Titans narrowly escaped the Jacksonville Jaguars 42-39. The San Francisco 49ers pull off an upset victory 26-20 over the Chicago Bears. The Seattle Seahawks are, I believe, on a 5-game winning streak or something. They defeated the Minnesota Vikings 38-7. The Atlanta Falcons got beat, actually, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-19. The Arizona Cardinals defeated the St. Louis Rams handily 27-3. The Kansas City Chiefs pulled off the well, it wasn't an upset, but they won the game against the Oakland Raiders 34-20. The Broncos defeated the Chargers 17-3. The Carolina Panthers remained undefeated after a nail biter in New Orleans 41-38 over the Saints, and that game was riddled with controversy all over the place. And after watching the feed from Baby Doll of the Sports Guru show, she was, under the impression the refs were cheating or it's fixed or whatever. The referees of the NFL have had a horrible, horrible season. Horrible. So I don't blame her for thinking that way. And then the Eagles upset the Patriots 35-28, and in a game that, saw the Eagles score 35 points, 5 unanswered touchdowns. The Patriots went from being up 14-0 to losing 35-14. They tried to make a comeback and just couldn't. They just couldn't. The final score being 35-28, and the Eagles, hand the Patriots second loss in a row. This is the first time that the Patriots lost 2 games back-to-back since Week 3 of 2012, and the first time ever in franchise history that the Patriots lost 2 games in a row after being ahead by 14 points. So, definitely big time. Like I said, it was a big time week, and Week 13 is almost in the books after tonight. But let's go over to the Patriots. Let's go over to the standings now. The AFC East, the Patriots are still in first place, 10-2. The Jets are 7-5. The Bills are 6-6, and the Dolphins are at 5-7. In the AFC North, the Bengals are 10-2 as well. The Steelers are 7-5. The Ravens are 4-10, and the Browns are 2-10. I'm sorry, the Ravens are 4-8, and the Browns are 2-10. In the AFC South, the Colts and the Texans are tied at 6-6. The Jaguars are 4-8, and the Titans are 3-9. That's the second worst division in the league. In the AFC West, the Broncos are 10-2. The Chiefs are 7-5. The Raiders are 5-7, and the Chargers are 3-9. Nobody in the AFC has clinched playoff berth yet. The Patriots, with the loss, because of how things go in the head-to-head, are actually, even though there's 3 teams tied with 10-2, they would actually drop to the 3rd place seed. The Bengals and the Broncos would have the bye, the seeds 1 and 2, and the Patriots would be number 3. In the NFC, see, this is why I say the NFC East is the worst division in football. The Redskins are in first place at 5-6. The Eagles and the Giants are tied at 5-7, and the Cowboys are 3-8. So if the Cowboys win tonight, all right, they'll be 4-8. They'll only be 1 game out of first place. I mean, that's and then you have 3 teams tied for first. But it's amazing because I don't like when teams get into the playoffs being, under 500. But I mean, if the Cowboys can pull out the win and they continue winning, they're still in the playoff hunt. No doubt about it. Obviously, just for the division. In the NFC North, the Packers and the Vikings are tied at 8-4. The Bears are 5-7, and the Lions are 4-8. In the NFC South, the Carolina Panthers clinched the division, and they are 12-0 on top of the NFC South. And the Buccaneers and the Falcons are both tied at 6-6, and the Saints are 4-8. In the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals are 10-2. The Seahawks are 7-5. The Rams are 4-8, and the 49ers are 4-8. So, with that being said, the Panthers are the only team to clinch so far. They have clinched the division because, well, quite honestly, if anything, even if they lost the next 4 games, they'd only be 12-4. The Buccaneers can only hope to get to 10-6. So, that's that. So, looking for tonight's game, without Tony Romo and even the Redskins going through their problems with Kirk Cousins, RG3 I don't think will be back. That's just it's a mess in the NFC East. First of all, I don't know why the Dallas Cowboys are still in the NFC East. That's just amazing to me. But the fact remains that they are. All right, moving on to, for those of you who are following the SWE Powerhouse Fantasy Football in the Football on the Farm League, the SW Powerhouse are on a 6-game winning streak going into the playoffs starting next Sunday, or this Sunday, I should say. We defeated Big Airy Balls rather handily, 113.4 to 68.1. That's why I said I'm happy I started Ben Roethlisberger, because actually my other quarterback, Carson Palmer from the Cardinals, who actually won as well, was rated higher. He was projected to do higher points, 22.9 to 22.1. Well, Roethlisberger had 41.9 points. That came from 364 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, a 2-point conversion pass, and 13 rushing yards. I also had D'Angelo Williams from Pittsburgh, 14.5 points. Devontae Freeman from Atlanta, 10.3 points. Danny Amendola from New England, 13.6. Michael Crabtree from Oakland, 10.5. Travis Kelce from Kansas City only got me 4.2. Anderson from Denver only got me 5.4. The Bears defense, even in the loss, gave me 8 points. And then Gano from Carolina got me 5 points. On the bench, I could have started Jeremy Maclin. He got me 19.5 points. Carson Palmer got 26.2. Marcus Colston got 1.4. These are guys who are on my bench. John Starks from Green Bay, 6 points. Steve Drawn, who I picked up from San Francisco, 14.6. Willie Snead had nothing, and the Rams defense had -4, so I'm glad I picked up that other defense. Both of our teams are done playing. All of our guys played already. The other, for the Big Airy Balls, Matthew Stafford had 21 points. Eddie Lacy had 0.1. That really hurt. And I found out why Eddie Lacy only had that one play, limited playing time, because he missed curfew the night before. Talk about a stupid reason to not play someone. I mean, everybody's an adult, but, it's called accountability and responsibility. You got to be somewhere where you've got to be. End of discussion. There's definitely something that is, there we go. Alright, hopefully that works. Okay, there's something that was kind of tying up my computer and it was starting to go slow. Hopefully I got rid of it. Jeffrey from Chicago got him 8.5 points. Odell Beckham Jr. got him 20.9 points. Antonio Gates from San Diego, 5 points. Landry from Miami, only a half a point. The Jets defense only got him 4, and Steven Gostkowski 4 points. He had Demaryius Thomas from Denver, 12.1 on the bench. Miller from Miami, 9.8 on the bench. So, I mean, it could have been a little closer, but it ended up the way it did. And the SW Powerhouse moves to 8 and 5. They haven't updated. They won't update the actual standings until until tomorrow, once the Monday night game is over. So, and the playoff brackets will reseed. But I know for a fact that the top 3 teams in my division, which is a darker shade of yellow, are all 8 and 5, tied for first place in the division, in the league, I believe. So that's going to be coming good come down to playoff time starting next week. I'll go over those playoffs matchups on Thursday's episode of the Sportswire. So stay tuned. So what else is going on in the world of sports? Well, obviously the referees in the NFL have been coming under a lot of scrutiny lately. A ton of missed calls or blown calls, or just a lot. Quite honestly, it's sickening to listen to them. It's the talk. Everybody from Mike and Mike to people on Fox to NBC. The problem is the referees this year. But I mean, we're all human. Humans are going to make mistakes. The problem is, and it was said on Mike and Mike, that and I think I might have mentioned this on Thursday's show. I can't remember, but the NFL referees are part-timers. So they have day jobs. And they do. They have day jobs. So they will, do their stuff on the weekend, but then it'll come down to, during the week, and they're working as a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case may be. So, with that being said, they're not watching game film. They're not they're not studying, or at least they're not paid to, but they're not studying the bad calls of last year because they don't necessarily have to. The football season obviously is only, from August to January, and they're still making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, a season, but during the week, they're lawyers, they're medical people, they're, whatever other full-time job they have during the week. Now, I feel that the NFL referees, it's different in every other sport, because in every other sport, especially like baseball, you play multiple games a week. So umpires, they can't have other jobs. So, basketball, hockey, the same thing. There are multiple games out of the week. I don't know so much about basketball and hockey referees, how they're, compensated or contracted or whatever. I know in the Major League Baseball, the umpires are full-time employees, which means, they're making millions of dollars a year as well. Or, hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million a year. The NFL, it's like, I would venture to say there needs to be some kind of a clause in the contract that during NFL season, they are not to have other jobs. And of course, that means 6 months out of the year, you're trying to find other jobs. Or, you have your own job, or whatever the case is. But the fact is, during the season, you should be watching game film. You should be seeing where you screwed up. The players do. I mean, the players are working as long, maybe a little longer than you guys are because of practices. But the players are basically away from their families, away from their lives, obviously without injury, for the same amount of time. Because from the very first preseason game to the Super Bowl, the common denominator is the games. So, the referees, the players, now obviously, when you get to the playoffs, there are definitely not as many playoff games, or teams in the playoffs, so you don't need, all your referees. So that's when they go back to their time. Or they rotate umpires, referees. So it's like 1 week, this batch of work, the next week, this batch of work. Eventually you come to the Super Bowl and only, 6 referees will be there. But then it's like after your contract is over for the year, then you can go back to your full-time job or whatever. But during the NFL season, you should be allowed and should be mandated. Ooh, I screwed up that call. That should have been like this. How could I do it differently? Well, maybe let me look at the vantage point like this. And that's how it should be, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm nobody in the NFL. I don't know it. I don't have any contacts in the NFL. But that's what it is. Okay. So we're going to get to our next song. Here's an old classic Christmas song. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Right now on the Sportswire.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true.
Alright, and that was Mariah Carey with All I Want for Christmas Is You, right here on the Sportswire. And no, just because of what I said earlier, that does not mean that that was a message to somebody. Okay? So, I'm not that stalker-ish, so to speak. But, anyways, great song. Oldie but goodie, I will say that. Alright, so, going on to WWE news, this coming Sunday, we have the tables, ladders, and chairs matchup going on, and or tables, ladders, and chairs pay-per-view, live event. That's what they're calling it now. Or WWE Network event. That's right, because of pay-per-view industries. I mean, they're still on pay-per-view, but 95% of people that watch it on the WWE Network. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. First of all, just a WWE, just a little bit of WWE stuff to go over. They have added some more on-demand footage from Global Wrestling Federation, Mid-South, Smoky Mountain, more NWA, WCW, and AWA. So there's more wrestling archives. WWE is just WWE Network is the absolute best. Definitely, some of the best value in entertainment. Hey, we've got a Marley cat up here. And that's our neighborhood cat Marley, who made it into the house, into the studio, and that is. So, all right. So before I got distracted, we're going over to WWE TLC coming up this coming Sunday on the 13th, 8 o'clock on the WWE Network. Main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It is Sheamus versus Roman Reigns. And I look for Sheamus to win, give Roman Reigns a little bit more of a time to build the fan base. The problem is they screwed up Roman Reigns' character from the beginning. No, I shouldn't say that. The fans, the stupid idiots that had to try to hijack every pay-per-view, all right, screwed up Roman Reigns' character. Because so many people are comparing him to Daniel Bryan, and, Daniel Bryan, the Ultimate Underdog. Hello, newsflash, Daniel Bryan will no longer be wrestling in the WWE. Get over it. So there's a lot of resentment there because the WWE decided to go with Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble last year. They decided to go with Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania last year against Brock Lesnar. There's still that resentment. Get over it, people. Daniel Bryan is no longer going to be wrestling in the WWE. As a matter of fact, even on WWE 2K16, I inactivated him because he's not going to be part of the WWE anymore. So, that's all that is. Get over it, please. Alright, let's get to our, let's get to TLC, and try to make some semblance of, where are we? There we go. Nope, that's not what I wanted either. Alright, I'm trying to get to some, I'm going to have to go over to, well, here we go. I'm going to have to do a search, shall we? Trying to get the match card. There we go. That's what I want. Because the simple fact, it's not always. Oh, they're actually doing that. Okay, so let's. Okay, there's a lot of rumors going on too for upcoming because of the injuries. Randy Orton is out for a year or so. Major neck injury, has to go in for surgery, so he's going to be out of action for a while. They said that he'll be out until 2017. Which, is okay, because now they have time to grow. So, there we go. Here's the current card, okay? For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, as I said, it's going to end up being Sheamus versus Roman Reigns. However, the WWE created the League of Nations, which is obviously, Sheamus, King Barrett, Alberto Del Rio, and also, who's the other guy? Rusev. Yeah, Rusev. He's in that whole League of Nations thing. So that keep him, keep his back watched, so to speak. However, Dean Ambrose is also facing Kevin Owens for the IC Championship. Ambrose won a triple threat match by pitting Tyler Breeze to get to the Intercontinental Championship match against Kevin Owens. The New Day, they will be defending their tag team championship against the Lucha Dragons and the Usos. Because of the simple fact that, well, it's time to get the titles off the New Day. They're getting very annoying, which makes them a great heel team. But, you know, I honestly think that, you know, we really need to get to a point where they're out. All right. I would love to see the Usos get the titles back because they really deserve it, and you know, they're one of the better teams. Even though I would love to see the Lucha Dragons get the titles as well, because they have that. They may not be completely ready yet, but I think they'll be there pretty soon. Let's see. I believe they're doing a women's match as well between Charlotte and Paige, even though they're teasing a Charlotte heel turn after, you know, what she did to Becky Lynch on Raw. I didn't like it because I don't, you know, I just didn't like it. I think they need to build that solidarity in the women's division to have, you know, certain heels and faces. They just had Paige do a heel turn. They don't need Charlotte to now do a heel turn and be just like her father. So that's what, you know, that's my opinion, so to speak. Going on the Bleacher Report right now, they just posted like 18 minutes ago. They posted an article about TLC and what booking strategies need to be made. Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, it shouldn't end. I think they have a great feud. They think that the New Day have to retain the titles. Although, I mean, the New Day is entertaining and annoying at the same time, even if they didn't have the titles. So, I mean, the titles are building them up, but the titles are almost secondary to what they're doing. It's almost like when Edge and Christian were doing that, the ENC angle with the 5 seconds of awesomeness and the pose, and for the benefit of those in fast talking, it's almost like that. You know, Xavier Woods coming out with the trumpet, they're coming out with the fake unicorns now. It's all entertaining. Don't get me wrong, because it's got that comedy aspect to it. But when it comes to, you know, being World Tag Team Champions, well, I think it takes a back seat. Obviously, they're saying that Sheamus can't beat Roman Reigns cleanly. It's going to end up coming down to Reigns being screwed again. We know it. Because they have to build Reigns up to the point where the fans have to be able to get behind Roman Reigns to actually build him up, so when he does get the World Championship for good, or, you know, for a lengthy time, the fans are going to appreciate him. They need to get the heat off of him. You know, he's not as polarizing as John Cena, but at the same time, you know, he has to get to that point where he's not getting booed by anybody. I don't necessarily see that happen anytime soon unless it's WrestleMania time, but they have to keep getting him screwed over. And, you know, have Sheamus keep screwing him over, whatever the case may be. Or the Authority, or the League of Nations, or, you know, whatever. But I do like the idea of the factions. We're also going to end up having, from what it looks like, it's going to be an Extreme Rules match, in my opinion, it should be at least. The Wyatt family, all 4 of them, versus Team ECW, because this past week they had Tommy Dreamer return on Raw and SmackDown. He's going to be joining the Dudley Boys in their fight with the Wyatts, and Bubba Ray Dudley teased the 4th member of that group. Could it be Spike Dudley? I mean, people are clamoring for Spike. I mean, who else could they really bring in? Well, RVD. But what would be awesome is if Paul Heyman came back to manage the faction. That would be absolutely fantastic. Even if you had, the Dudleys and Tommy Dreamer, with Paul Heyman as their manager, sit Bray Wyatt out, as the head of the Wyatt family. Do you realize what awesome promos that match would have? I mean, first of all, Paul Heyman, when he was doing ECW, everybody said, it was cult-like following. Everybody had to drink Paul Heyman's Kool-Aid. Well, what do you think the Wyatt family is? For Luke Harper, Eric Rowan to break away, a year and a half ago and come back, and now Braun Strowman is there. Who's the one drinking the Kool-Aid now, or giving out the Kool-Aid now? So with that being said, let's let's see where it goes. All right. So with that being said, I think the WWE is well covered. I will have more on TLC on Thursday as we get closer to the event, and of course after Raw tonight, we'll have some more of the questions answered as to who the fourth member of Team ECW is. Mojo Rawley, I heard, made his WWE main roster debut. And on Thursday's episode, actually, I'm going to be having a special, not necessarily a fantasy draft edition, because there's not going to be anybody on the show with me, but I actually asked a couple of my friends who are into wrestling who they would create as the new NWO if NWO was come back. Because with it coming to be 2016 next year, the NWO is going to end up being 20 years old, and in celebration of that, if the NWO was to be recreated, who would you choose to be part of the faction? Okay. Now, we're going to get to I don't necessarily know if it's a classic Christmas song, but it's definitely a fun novelty song. It's called the 12 Guido Days of Christmas. For those of you who haven't heard it, enjoy it. Here it is on the Sportswire.
Hey, Joe Bulls, Merry Christmas.
Kamanuch.
I heard you saw Janus.
Yeah, my paisan. Let me tell you what he got me this year. On the first day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me a ride in his IROC Z. I love that car. On the second day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 2 guinea teas and a ride in his IROC Z. On the third day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 4th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 5th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. Wait, there's more. On the 6th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 6 Sergio Tachinis, 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 7th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 7 Piazza jerseys, 6 Sergio Tachinis, 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 8th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 8, how you doing? 7 Piazza jerseys, 6 Sergio Tachinis, 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 9th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 9 balls of grabbing, 8, how you doing? 7 Piazza jerseys, 6 Sergio Tachinis, 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 10th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 10 new hand gestures, 9 balls of grabbing. 8, how you doing? 7, Piazza jerseys. 6, Sergio Tacchini's. 5, pinky rings. 4, fresh cannolis. All 3 Godfathers. 2, guinea teas. And a ride in his IROC Z. On the 11th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 11 Sinatra CDs.
A moment of silence for the chairman of the board.
10 new hand gestures, 9 balls on grabbing, 8 how you doing, 7 Piazza jerseys, 6 Sergio Tacchini's, 5 pinky rings, 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. On the 12th day of Christmas, my paisan gave to me 12 gobs of hair gel. Would you watch the hair? 11 Sinatra CDs. 10 new hand gestures, 9 balls are grabbing, 8 how you doing, 7 Piazza jerseys, 6 Sergio Tacchini's, 5 pinky rings. How you like me now? 4 fresh cannolis, all 3 Godfathers, 2 guinea teas, and a ride in his IROC Z. Yeah, that's for you. God bless.
All right, and that was the 12 Guido Days of Christmas, and after Shazamming it, I found out that it's sung by the How You Doing Boys. I can't, couldn't find them on Facebook. Actually, I tried to, but, whatever. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, that's it's one of my good favorite songs. And that's all there is to it. All right. So, I'd like to move on to something a little bit more serious now. First of all, for those of you who haven't listened to Sportswire before, or for those of you who just stumbled upon it and tuning in, the Sportswire, even though it's called Sportswire, we don't always just cover sports. Obviously wrestling is sports entertainment, but I talk about just about anything that comes to mind. End of discussion. That's it. Anything that comes to mind. Obviously I pray before and, at the very beginning and at the very end of the show, just kind of trying to bless the show. I do play Christian music. I am not politically correct. I never have been. I never will be. If I offend you, you have that option of turning the show off. I do talk about personal things because you know what? I know that there are people out there who are dealing with the same kind of stuff I do on a daily basis. And for those of you that do, there's obviously somebody looking out for you and trying to give you advice and trying to show you how things out of my experience have happened. In my experience. So, and that's, I think that's a good thing. I think more shows need to be less politically correct, if that makes any sense. I will say Merry Christmas. I won't say Happy Holidays. I mean, yeah, if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or, whatever, that's your choice. But that doesn't mean that I can't say Merry Christmas. End of story. Okay? I am not necessarily one of those Christians out there that are extremists. Quite honestly, that's something that brings me to what I was going to talk about. There are extremists in all religions. Okay? Whether it's the Islamic extremists or Christian extremists, or there's Judaism extremists too. Buddhist, whatever. Buddhists are more peaceful, but it's not a monotheistic religion. But when it comes to, here's the deal. Okay? Last night, our moron president, Commander-in-Chief, Barack Obama, came on, interrupted Sunday Night Football's pregame, but came on to talk about he can't even say ISIS, which ISIS stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. He can't bring himself to say that because he's trying to force Syrian refugees into the country. Okay? But he says ISIL, okay? Which I don't even know what that stands for. Islamic State of International League, I have no idea. Okay? Well, the fact of the matter is this. Okay? He says everything that he has to, but again, it's not where it needs to be. Okay? He says the FBI is trying to figure out, of course, the FBI is trying to figure out how the people that perpetrated the act in San Bernardino got in originally. Well, the fact is, okay, now, he's right on a couple aspects. We don't want mass hysteria saying every Muslim is bad. Because they're not. Normal Islam, okay? Normal Islam is a peaceful religion. Normal. It's when you get the extreme. It's the same thing with Christians. Normal Christians are peaceful, loving. They're not hateful, regardless of what, the homosexuals or, the abortion people will say. Okay? We are not hateful. Christianity is not a hateful religion either. Yes, we're trying to promote the Word of God. Yes, we're trying to love everybody where they are and kind of show you, how we live our life to be a beacon of light. But that doesn't mean that you have to follow us. No, absolutely not. And there are Christian extremists that take it to the extreme, like the ones that bomb the, abortion clinics or whatever. Now that's not Christian either. So don't be automatically saying that those are Christians, because they're not. We may not agree with abortion, we may not agree with same-sex marriages, but at the same time, what are we? We're not the judge. God is the ultimate judge. So with that being said, okay, President Obama comes on last night. He says that we shouldn't automatically, stereotype every Muslim as being part of ISIS. He's right. But that doesn't mean that we can't be more diligent in who we let into this country. Now, President Obama wants to bring in, all the Syrian refugees, or 50,000 Syrian refugees. Now, with that being said, with what ISIS is doing in the world, whether it's Paris, California, anywhere else in the country, and we know that they're from Syria and Iraq, okay, why would you sanction to bring Syrians into our country? Other than the fact that you just don't care about our country. And I think it's been proven time and time again from the beginning of his, not the very beginning, but number one, he's tripled our national debt. We thought Howdy Doody was bad, George W., alright? But Barack Obama has done so much worse for us. Okay? There are how many illegal immigrants living on welfare? Okay? How many? There's a lot of them. Because he has allowed that to happen. If you're here illegally, you should be in prison. Or working on your status. If you have a pending status to become a citizen of this country. If you came here to learn, to work, and if you come here for school or for work, and you're being a productive member of society, and let's say it slips your mind to renew your visa or whatever the case is, that's a different story. I'm not saying that because you were here illegally. It just happened to slip your mind. Now, does that necessarily make you illegal? Well, technically, yes. But here's the deal. You live your life, you work, you pay taxes, you speak English, you're good. But the problem is, and this is why everybody's getting on me for supporting Donald Trump. I personally feel that we do need to close our borders. I personally feel that we do need to build a wall between the United States and Mexico. The fact is, we don't have problems with Canadians coming down here to, take our benefits and our money and our jobs and stuff, because you know what? Quite honestly, Canada is better off than the U.S. But the fact is, here's the deal. Donald Trump has the idea of building the wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Now, people are saying that's racist. No. Okay? He never once came out and said that all Mexicans were criminals, and all Mexicans were rapists, and all Mexicans were drug dealers. No. He said the ones that come here illegally, okay, are already doing something illegal because they're not here, on a work visa or school visa, or they just sneak over. They get an under the table job. They're able to get their driver's license. They're able to get the food stamps, the cash assistance, whatever. They send it back, and they bring more over. And pretty soon you've got about 12 illegal people living in one house, paying rent in cash, so it can't be tracked. Now, that's not being racist. That's holding people accountable. Okay? When it comes to the Syrian refugees, yes, you want to help all people. As a Christian, yes, we want to help all people, make sure all people are safe and secure and provided for. But the problem is when you can't trust, okay? You can't trust that everybody that comes over is really somebody who's trying to escape persecution, and people are posing as it's been. That's an unfortunate circumstance. You have to be diligent and do your homework. If that means a lengthy process to try to get a visa to come to this country, that's what it means. He's Muslim. No, that doesn't mean that we have to say all Muslims are ISIS. That's not the truth. There are people that are Muslims that are good, peaceful people. But, when you see this entire faction of all right, let me liken it to this. Okay? And this is where controversy creates conversation. When they had the whole thing of the Black Lives Matter. Okay? Here's the deal. Yes, Black Lives Matter. But every life matters. Black, white, Latino, Asian, even Middle Eastern, even Islamic, Judaic, Christian. Every life matters. Not just black lives. Okay? So for the black community to come together, and I'm not saying that every black person got together in this. I'm just saying, the people in Baltimore or Detroit or Mississippi or wherever it was that actually did get together to create this Black Lives Matter movement, okay? That's where you find a problem, okay? Now, am I saying to wipe out that? No, not at all. But when a group of people band together, okay, when you see the majority of the black community band together and say Black Lives Matter, but the problem is there's more black on black murders and black on black crime than there is white on black or police on black or whatever. So before you say that, that's a problem, you better look at your own culture. Okay? And if you're saying that Black Lives Matter, why are you going out and committing crimes? Breaking into, stores and looting stores. That's just showing you're more of a criminal. Now, I'm not stereotyping any black people because I have a ton of black friends. Okay? But what I'm saying is those people that band together in the group that think it's going to be guerrilla warfare or militia or whatever, well, there's the problem. Unfortunately, the Islamic extremists that are in ISIS that have read some bogus Quran that says kill anybody that does not worship Allah and anybody else is a heathen or an infidel, well, then you're drinking the wrong kind of Kool-Aid. And that's when you need to, be taken out. Every life matters, not just yours. But unfortunately, when you have people that are buying into this kind of religion, you need to put a stop to it. Now, the fact of the matter is this, okay? I have no problem with people banding together when it comes to something peaceful. Okay? When it comes to something peaceful. But when it comes to you're banding together and creating more chaos, there's a problem. There's a real problem. It's your right to band together. But when you're banding together for chaos because you feel slighted, open your mouth. Talk to your congressman. Now, granted, our congressmen never necessarily don't do anything because they never have done anything, but the fact remains that they're there to help out. The police, no matter how flawed they are, because, again, they are human, are there to help. Okay? And that's that. Now, that being said, I am fully supporting Donald Trump in the 2016 election, and that's all there is to it. All right, we're going to get to our final song of the year. Okay? The song is called, this is a new artist that I haven't played before. And as a matter of fact, she is the sister-in-law of my first ex-fiance's sister. If that sounds like a Star Wars or Spaceball quote, but the fact is, it's true actually. Yeah, I believe that's her. So her name is Jean Marie Rivera, okay, and she is a singer, songwriter, and quite a few years ago, she put out a Christmas album called "Christmas Time Is Here." I got a copy of it because at the time I was a DJ and I was dating her sister-in-law's sister. So I got a copy of the CD. I'm going to play it right here on the Sportswire. She's right from New Haven, Connecticut. Her name is Jean Marie Rivera. Here's the song, titled song off the album, "Christmas Time Is Here," right here on the Sportswire.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all that children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols olden times and ancient rhymes, and love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year.
All right, that was Jean Marie Rivera with Christmas Time Is Here, right here on the Sportswire. Definitely a great show today. And, I have to say we're getting to our final segment of the show. It's been obviously a controversial show, controversial episode. It always is. I mean, I love that. I have to say that I do take after, and I no matter how much I do like Vince McMahon, and obviously Vince McMahon is obviously a great a genius when it comes to the WWE. And he loses out in one aspect. Okay, the thing is, he's amazing, he's awesome, but there's one person better when it comes to really getting people to talk. Now, granted, when the WWE turned the corner and made the Attitude Era, people were talking about that. But there's one other person bigger than him, and what I mean is greater than him at causing controversy. And that is Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff penned the book called Controversy Creates Cash. And while on the Sportswire, controversy doesn't necessarily create cash, because I'm not making any money, controversy creates conversation. Okay? And by me talking about Barack Obama and ISIS and illegal people and, being politically incorrect, it gets controversial. But I want people to talk. Okay? That's another reason why I talk about personal stuff on here, is because while I don't get into every aspect of my personal life, I want people to talk about it. I don't know absolutely everything. I'm not a know-it-all. I haven't gone to school for, like I said, psychology, politics, or psychiatry, or medical. All I'm doing is a regular guy doing a podcast. But here's the deal: most regular people that do podcasts, they want people to think that they know it all, so they don't talk about their weaknesses. They don't talk about their weaknesses. I do. I talk about things I don't know because I want people to engage, to get conversation out there, and to start talking about, anything, whether it's being politically correct, whether it's, Islamic extremism, Christian extremism, whether it's about illegal immigrants, whether it's about just how to keep drama off of Facebook. Okay, because I still say, if my breakup with Desiree wasn't so public, and all of Facebook didn't know / get involved, it could have been salvaged. But because it was so public and involved, then you know what? It probably wouldn't have gone so far. It probably could have been salvaged. But you live and learn, right? Okay. Breaking news just into the Sportswire studio, courtesy of NFL and ESPN. Johnny Manziel is going to start this Sunday against who? It's going to start Manziel as their quarterback this Sunday, and against the 49ers after he was benched for 2 weeks. After being said that he was done with being a starter and all that. Oh, whatever. Okay, we're going to get to our final segment of the show. And that is the dumb laws of the day. And no, this time I'm not talking about President Obama. But dumb laws. We're going to go to up north. We're going to go to Michigan today. Detroit is a motor city, but the home of the motor city. Detroit, Michigan. Here we go. Dumb laws in Michigan. People may not be drunk on trains. Okay? It is illegal to kill a dog using a decompression chamber. Adultery is illegal, but can only be punished upon a complaint by the affected husband or wife. Wow, that's amazing. No man may seduce and corrupt an unmarried girl, or else he risks 5 years in prison, which basically means that no sex outside of marriage. The last Sunday in June of every year was named Log Cabin Day. Okay? Cars may not be sold on Sundays. I've actually seen quite a bit of that. A woman isn't allowed to cut her own hair without her husband's permission. That's crazy. There is a 3-cent bounty for each starling and 10-cent bounty for each crow killed in any village, township, or city in the state. That was repealed in 2006. It is legal for a robber to file a lawsuit if he or she got hurt in your house. I don't like that. I really don't like when states have laws like that, because you're doing something illegal by breaking into a house. What legal right do you have to say, I broke into your house, but you shot me? Or I fell on a knife, or whatever. It's like, really? I stabbed myself with the broken glass that I broke trying to get into your house. Give me a break. You may not swear in front of women and children. I know some women that have some horrible mouths. I'll leave that there. Any person over the age of 12 may have a license for a handgun as long as he or she has not been convicted of a felony. Okay? City laws in Michigan. In Clawson, there's a law that makes it legal for a farmer to sleep with his pigs, cows, horses, goats, and chickens. I wonder if that got repealed yet. In Detroit, there's a lot of them. Apparently, the good folks in Detroit did not quite know what anew meant. Okay? Putt-putt golf courses must close by 1 a.m. Security guards at Joe Louis Arena will confiscate any item they feel might be thrown onto the ice. And that's, I think, where squid, the whole thing with the hat trick, the squid, or whatever, that's where that came about. Couples are banned from making love in an automobile unless the act takes place while the vehicle is parked on the couple's own property. Okay? Willfully destroying your old radio is prohibited. It is illegal for a man to scowl at his wife on a Sunday. It is illegal to let your pig run free in Detroit unless it has a ring in its nose. In Grand Haven, no person shall throw an abandoned hoop skirt into any street or any sidewalk under penalty of a $5 fine for each offense. Craziness. Here we go. More city laws in Michigan. In Harper Woods, it is illegal to paint sparrows to sell them as parakeets. In Kalamazoo, it is against the law to serenade your girlfriend. Wow. In Rochester, all bathing suits must have been inspected by the head of police. In Sioux, Michigan, smoking while in bed is illegal. And finally, in Wayland, Michigan, anyone can keep their cow on Main Street downtown at a cost of 3 cents per day. Folks, obviously these were made up because they must have been made up years ago, but somebody had to do them to get the laws made up for them. Okay. So, folks, I want to thank you all for listening. It's been a fantastic episode. And, you know what? It is what it is. It's been a great episode, guys. Let's go to God in prayer. Let's finish off the show with a great day. Father God, I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk about, whatever came to my mind. I want to thank you for allowing me to have this vehicle to get my voice and my thoughts across, and maybe, get people thinking and talking, Lord, because we need to be able to communicate. We are humans. We are social creatures. We need to talk about the things that happen. The old idea that religion and politics are two things that should not be talked about because everybody has their own opinion should go out the window. We need to talk. I pray for all the people that do have, mental illness, Lord, that have, depression, anxiety, bipolar, and all of them that do suffer with that. I pray that you allow them to put their anxieties on you and to take your load and your yoke on them because your burden is light, Father. I thank you for, I pray for the, for the vehicle that you're going to give me, Lord. I pray for our household. I pray for my job. I thank you for just everything you do on a daily basis. And I ask all this through your Son, Jesus Christ. All right, so folks, I want to thank you, and I pray that you all enjoyed the show. And join us Thursday. We'll be back with another episode of the Sportswire here on Fat Cat Radio. By the way, if you're listening to us on Spreaker, that's great. Spreaker.com/show/sports-wire. You can also hit us up on Facebook and follow like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/SportswireCT. Facebook.com/FatCatRadioEnterprise. Then you've got SWE-CT.com, MyFatCatRadio.com. Then on Twitter, Periscope, SoundCloud, Instagram, Foursquare, Pinterest, Tumblr, Tout. It's all SWE Connecticut. And then on YouTube, Google Plus, and Skype, Sportswire SWE. So I want to thank all of our sponsors again. I want to thank our great, our great talent for the music for today. And we'll be back Thursday on the 10th of December. Right? Is that going to be the 10th? 7th, 8th, 9th? Yes, the 10th of December. Right here on the Sportswire.